First, let's bring on Chase. Chase, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Mr. Yorba, pleasure as always. Thank you for having me again.
My pleasure. All right, coming to us from Vegas live, from Blue Moon headquarters. You got an event, BMA event coming up. Tell me about this.
Well, actually, it started this morning. We did we're in the middle of our annual shareholders meeting as we speak, so Tony is live and presenting with them. We have a great opportunity for re-engaging with everybody that has engaged with us previously, so giving them an opportunity to see what we've been up to lately. And then also, as you said, showcase those 925 companies that we do have in that prestigious club.
Now, give everybody an idea about the 925 Club. We talk about it, but they need to understand just how much impact that has on a company and people's lives when they get into that club. What does that mean?
Well, it is, the motivation behind our drive and engaging with them is very serious, and when we do engage with them, we consider strongly, what they're doing and what they're giving their life to. And so to say that they're 925, it's to say that they have given their life to their company essentially in a healthy fashion in which they've assembled all pieces and parts of their company in an organized manner in which when we inject capital into their company, they then have a stable base to grow and a foundation to scale. So that is the biggest thing that we see with those 925 companies is that going through the rigor of this process, it sometimes takes 2 weeks, it sometimes takes, 3 months. And so it's extremely rigorous, and there's a lot of stages to develop and areas of development. And so to say that they're 925, once again, it's to say that they have everything together across the board, from background checks to their market analysis, to their financials, to their business plans and their decks, everything.
Now, I know a major investment bank was talking with Tony. I'll leave the names out. And they were so enthused with this thing that they said, we've got to be first on this deal. So I want to let everybody understand that when you say scale, it's easy to throw buzzwords around in a conversation, especially, in media. But I want to tell people how impactful that is. When you say scale, you're talking about the next Uber, the next Nabisco, the next IBM, the next Microsoft, the next Apple. Big scale is what I'm understanding you're talking about when it comes to that. Not just, hey, we're going to take over Southern California. We're talking big stuff, right?
The biggest, and you're right on point with the direction you're heading with that. The ability to engage with a company such as Uber and to have them be, I don't want to say threatened, but have healthy competition, out of a company that wasn't even known a year ago. And then all of a sudden they scale and show up. And now it's a concern to Uber. It's a concern to Topgolf. It's a concern to Microsoft. It's a concern to anybody in that industry because we have a titan coming after them now. And we have a business that's a 925 company that has everything together, and they're able and have the due diligence done to show that they're now a competitor in a very, very tight market.
This what blew my mind when I first had Tony on the show, and I sent out my pitch deck, and I sent out my one-page, executive summary, and like 48 hours later, boom, he was in Dallas. We got to talk. I was like, well, you're making me feel bulletproof now, buddy. All right, the BMA event. Let's get into that.
Sure.
Break it down for us. What is it?
Okay. So the BMA event, this is a special one because we're doing everything today that is necessary for the company to continue its process and to continue its own scaling. So we started off today with the board of directors meeting to set forth a couple of initiatives in motion, and a lot of those, referencing what we're talking about, scaling, growth, large impact scale too. So you mentioned earlier we're talking to large investment bankers. So when you sit down in a room and the net worth is $10 billion, it kind of takes everybody by surprise when now we're all of a sudden they're talking about getting involved in our scaling. And so that's a perfect example for us scaling. And so now we start off with our board of directors meeting, and that's what we discussed. After that, we went right into our annual shareholders meeting where we were able to then disseminate the information that we had just agreed upon in the board of directors meeting. So it's a really nice, clean transition from the board of directors to the annual shareholders meeting. And then last but not least, at 1 o'clock, we begin our annual or our quarterly Blue Moon Advisors presentations for investors. So we reach out to our entire network, 21 capital providers, and that's not even to include people that are just interested and engaged. So we have about 60 people, anywhere from investors to entrepreneurs themselves, to people looking to create strategic partnerships. That's a very big portion of what we're able to do as well, especially in equipping people with the tools able to get themselves to grow. So that might be another company that we have, and the synergy that we're able to create, such as you've experienced with the few companies we've talked to together as a group, we can create synergy, and that's a great tool for us. So we're getting ready to gear up and put out our 925 companies for this last 3 months that we've had show up. There are 4 of them. Am I allowed to talk about them specifically?
I was just going to ask you. Yeah, please do.
Oh, perfect. So some of them have been mentioned on here. We have a couple. Once again, the only companies that are allowed to do a full presentation are 925 companies. So I'll focus on those. The 925 companies that we have presenting today are Natural Power Technologies. We have City Rock Partners, Rex Programming, and Meta Creation. So those 4 companies have gone through our entire process. We've built half of their structure of their company and their documents, and now we're able to endorse them as a 925 company and say these companies are it. These companies fall into the group of the 85% that get funding. So that is a statistic on our white paper on our website, bluemoonadvisors.com, and you can read our white paper for any viewers that might want to check that out. And in that, we describe our 925 companies as such that 85% of the 925 companies see through 3 years of business, have a successful exit, and repay all investors. On top of that, they receive on average of $990,000 apiece. So that is our 925 endorsement and the power of it.
Wow. All right. We've got a little bit of time left, maybe about 3 minutes or so. Can you give me just a synopsis of what these 4 companies do? I mean, you're right. You got their names out there, but give our audience a kind of a feel for the depth and the variety that you're covering with the private equity presentations.
These are great companies. These are so fantastic. I'll start off with Natural Power Technologies. So Natural Power Technologies is a company that is leading the way to find out how are we going to sustain ourselves in remote locations for not just electricity, but for water, for shelter, for general power, for utilization of hydro, wind, solar. They wrap it all up. And one of the beauties of their company is that their engagements with other large power players in their industries has already set them up to show the promise of the future of growth for them. So it's not just a matter of them developing the technologies. Right now, that's what we're presenting, is to finish off and make them commercial ready. But aside from that, they've already had their endorsements and they're ready to launch. They are full speed ahead in developing their final commercialization, and they are pushing and leading the way of renewable technology, clean growth, and changing the planet.
Now, we only have a minute left, so we've got 3 companies. I wanted to just tell us what they do, and then everybody, they'll reach out to bluemoonadvisors.com.
Oh, that'll be fantastic. So our next one, we have Rex Programming. Rex Programming is teaching coding to children. So anywhere from K to 12, they give full lessons on building software from a video game perspective to engage kids that are artistic, all the way to changing how healthcare processes their data. After that, we have City Rock Partners. City Rock Partners is figuring out and engaging in how to help underperforming loans become a strong and reinvested loan. So getting them to be reperforming, but engaging with the people as they are. So people are people, and so treating them as such, and not just looking at their note and seeing how much they owe.
Chase,
figuring out how to make sure they help them the most. And last, Meta Creations. Meta Creations has a fantastic product out. They just cornered the market for their technology. It's a sealed light chamber dispersion for skin pigmentation issues, hair loss, hair restoration. They do it all with their sealed light chamber product that just came out and just got patented.
We got to wrap it up, Chase, but thanks so much. And hey, you be sure and tell Keith I said hi, and thank you very much.
I absolutely will, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Chase Abrams. He is the Director of Business Development for Blue Moon Advisors. They do our private equity spotlight. We're going to take a brief break and come back. And on the other side of this break, we're going to have with us Joe Chavez, CEO, President, Bold Agency. We're going to talk about mega mergers in the media business. All right, you've been listening to CEO Money with Michael Yorba. We'll be right back.